The night sky over Earth was quiet. Stars blinked gently, and everything felt normal. People went about their lives not knowing that everything was about to change. Then, without warning, the stars moved. A massive object appeared in orbit, high. Above the planet, it came out of nowhere. No radio signal, no sound, no lights. Just a black shape blocking the stars. It was not a satellite. It was not from Earth. It was not friendly. People all over the world saw it. News channels showed the strange object again and again. Scientists couldn't explain it. Military radar picked it up, but no one could reach it. It didn't respond to any message, just hovered in silence. Then, after one full day, it finally spoke. A single message was broadcast across all devices, phones, TVs, computers. The message came in every language. It was clear and cold. Submit or be destroyed. You have 7 days. People froze in fear. Panic spread like wildfire. Was this a joke? A threat? Was it real? The governments of the world tried to calm everyone down, but the countdown had already started. The message appeared in the sky, floating above cities in glowing letters, visible even during the day. 6 days, 23 hours, 59 minutes. No one knew what to do. Earth had never seen aliens before. Some hoped it was just a bluff. Others said to prepare for war. The United Nations met in emergency session. Armies were put on high alert. Still, no one knew what they were dealing with. Who were these aliens? What did they want? Deep under the surface of the Earth, inside a hidden base in Antarctica, a group of people watched the sky without fear. Wow. They were not part of any official military. They didn't answer to any one country. They had been waiting for this moment. For years they had trained in silence, built ships in the dark, and tested weapons far away from the eyes of the public. These people were the Black Command, the ones behind Earth's most secret project, Project Black Fleet. It began 20 years ago when Earth first picked up strange signals from deep space. No one talked about it in public. Only a few trusted people knew. The signals showed a galaxy full of war, slavery, and empires that crushed weaker species. Earth was not yet attacked, but it was only a matter of time. So, a plan was made. Earth would pretend to be weak, but in the shadows it would build monster ships with unmatched speed, weapons that melted steel, and warriors trained to fight beyond the stars. And now, the time had come. From the ice-covered base, a single message was sent into deep space. Using a frequency no one else knew, the message was not to the aliens, it was to the Black Fleet. The message said, "Awaken." All over the solar system, hidden ships began to move. Some were under the oceans. Some were buried under the moon's surface. Others had drifted in dark space, quiet and invisible. They powered up. Silent engines hummed to life. Minds ran checks. Pilots, long asleep in cryosleep, opened their eyes. They were not like normal soldiers. These were the best of the best chosen, not just for skill, but for loyalty, for pain, for rage. They had trained in fake gravity, fought in total darkness, and learned how to kill without sound. To the rest of the world they did not exist, but soon everyone would know their name, the Black Fleet. Still, the world didn't know about this hidden force. On the surface, fear ruled. Cities were empty, airports were full. Families tried to escape big cities, but there was nowhere to run. The countdown continued. 5 days, 18 hours, 12 minutes. Every second felt heavier. Strange things began to happen. Weather patterns changed, satellites failed. People saw flashes in the sky. Some thought it was the beginning of the end. Others believed Earth would be taken without a fight. But then, something strange happened. On the 3rd day, a small ship crashed in the Sahara Desert. It was not human, it was alien. But it was not from the same race that had sent the warning. The pilot was injured but alive. He looked strange, tall, thin, with glowing green skin and silver eyes. He spoke perfect English. He said one sentence before he passed out: "They are not here to talk. They are here to kill." Scientists rushed to study the craft. The ship was badly damaged, but its data core was intact. What they found inside made every world leader tremble. Showed video from hundreds of dead planets. Cities turned to dust. Skeletons of alien races scattered under burning skies. One thing was clear, this was not the first time the warning had been given. Other worlds had also been told to submit. All had refused. All were now gone. Back in Antarctica, the Black Command watched silently. The fleet was almost ready. Weapons charged. Shields tested. AI systems fully active. One of the commanders looked at the Earth's display of panic and said in a calm voice, "Let them panic. We have a gift waiting for our visitors." The technician turned from his console. "Shall I alert the captains?" The commander nodded. Begin phase 1 of the Black Fleet. For 2 days, Earth watched the sky. The alien countdown continued. 4 days. 3 days. The fear was growing. People demanded answers. Who were these aliens? Why did they want Earth? And why now? The alien ship in orbit still said nothing. Just floated above Earth like a silent god, always watching. More strange things started to happen. Communication satellites failed without warning. Deep space probes vanished. Whole cities reported sudden blackouts. Something was coming and it was close. Then, on the second night, something else entered the solar system. A fleet. Dozens of ships, each bigger than a city, came from the edge of the system. They flew in perfect formation, glowing with dark blue energy. They looked like floating bones, long, sharp, and cold. Each ship was covered in strange symbols that pulsed with a sick green light. The message was clear. This was not a peaceful visit. Earth's telescopes zoomed in. Satellites sent images. The alien fleet was like nothing anyone had ever seen. These were warships. Their weapons were already armed. Their shields were active. They weren't here to talk. They were here to destroy. The scientists finally found a match in the hidden data they recovered from the alien ship that crashed in the desert. The name was whispered with fear, even by other alien species, the Zorvani Empire. The Zorvani were older than Earth's sun. They had ruled their part of the galaxy for thousands of years. Their empire was built on fire and death, moved from planet to planet, wiping out anything they couldn't control. They didn't care about peace, trade, or alliances. They only wanted one thing: total obedience. And if they didn't get it, they erased entire civilizations. The Zorvani believed they were gods. Their soldiers wore black armor that fed on pain. Their ships used living machines, part metal, part flesh. They didn't take prisoners, didn't show mercy. When they sent a warning, it was always the same: submit or be destroyed. And now, that warning had come to Earth. At a secret base in orbit, part of the Black Fleet watched the enemy's arrival. The captains of Earth's hidden force were calm, but their eyes were sharp. They had trained for this. They had seen the Zorvani in old data files. But now, they were re-and. They were here. One of the Black Fleet commanders, a woman known only as Captain Rain, studied the alien warships with cold eyes. "They don't know what we've built," she said. "They think we are just another weak race." Other captain, old and scarred, nodded slowly. "Let them think it. They've made the same mistake others made before them." Far away, in a hospital hidden under a mountain, the alien pilot who crashed in the desert finally woke up. His body was covered in burns. His breathing was weak, but his mind was clear. He looked at the humans around him and said, "You are not ready." One of the doctors leaned forward. "Tell us who they are. Tell us what they want." The alien pilot, who called himself Gerald, looked up at the ceiling. "They don't want your land. They don't want your gold. They want your silence. Forever." Gerald explained how his own planet was once like Earth, peaceful, full of hope. When the Zorvani came, they gave the same message. His people fought back. They were brave, but they were not ready. In 1 week, their oceans boiled. Their cities turned to ash. Billions died. He was one of the last survivors. "I came here," Gerald said, "to warn you. To tell you to run, but now I see it's too late." Doctor's voice was calm. What if we don't run? Oh, yeah. Gerald looked surprised. Then you will die. But the doctor only smiled. Or maybe we will surprise them. On the third day, the countdown reached 48 hours. The alien fleet entered Earth's orbit. Their largest ship moved into position above North America. Its size was terrifying. So big that it blocked the sun in several cities. The Zorvani finally spoke again. This time their voice was different. It was not a warning. It was a command. Prepare for your end. You will burn your skies. Your cities will scream. You chose defiance.
Oh, taste destruction.
The message ended, and the world held its breath. But somewhere, hidden far above Earth, in the cold silence of space, a small ship moved. It had no name. Its surface was pitch black, like a hole in the universe. Inside, a pilot checked her systems. Her voice was steady. Her hands didn't shake. Target lock complete, she whispered. Another voice came through her headset. Permission to engage? She looked at the image of the Zorvani ship on her screen. No, not yet. Let them get closer. Back in the alien hospital room, Gerald was watching the news. He saw the panic, the fear, the chaos. Then, something strange appeared on the screen. A ship. A black one. Sleek. Silent. Unlike anything else. Gerald sat up straight, his eyes wide. That is not one of yours. The doctor smiled. No, it's not. It's one of theirs. Gerald frowned. The Zorvani. The doctor stood up. No, he said softly. The Black Fleet, our answer to your monsters. Outside, in space, the Black Fleet was waking up. Far above Earth, something began to move in the shadows of space. The world was focused on the Zorvani fleet. People watched the giant enemy ships floating in orbit. News channels showed live images every hour. The countdown was down to 24 hours. Across the planet, people held their breath. Some prayed. Some packed their bags. Others just stared at the sky, waiting for fire to rain down. But while the world feared the Zorvani, it had no idea what was waking up behind the moon, hidden deep. Inside the craters of the moon's dark side, large metal doors opened slowly. Dust flew into space. Inside the craters were massive hangars, full of black warships. They had no flags, no markings, no lights. They looked like shadows with engines. This was Earth's hidden power built in secret, tested in silence. These ships were part of the Black Fleet. For years, Earth's leaders had hidden the truth. After strange alien signals were discovered, decades ago, a small group of nations came together. They knew war was coming, knew Earth was not alone, and they knew that one day someone like the Zorvani would arrive. So they made a plan. They built ships without names, engines that ran on pure plasma, armor made from rare man-made alloys, weapons that could tear through space-time. These ships were designed for one purpose, only to kill anything that threatened Earth. But even more powerful than the ships were the people who flew them. They were not regular pilots. They had no families, no homes. They had trained for war in total darkness. They were raised to fight without fear, without mercy. They lived by one rule: protect Earth at any cost. The world didn't know them, but soon the galaxy would fear them. The first ship to wake up was called Phantom 1. It powered up in silence. Its black hole shimmered in the moonlight. Inside, the pilot opened her eyes. Her name was Commander Celine. She had been asleep for years, frozen in cryosleep. And ready her voice came through the coms, Phantom 1 online, awaiting orders. One by one the others woke up too. Phantom 2, ready, Ghost 7, online. Chapter 4. Locked in, across the system, hidden bases came alive. Ships rose from the oceans. Some emerged from deep mountain hangars. Others had drifted silently in Earth's orbit for decades, invisible to radar. The Black Fleet was no longer a secret. It was now Earth's sword, back on Earth. In a secret command room deep underground, General Hayes watched the data screens. He saw the Black Fleet coming online. One by one, all 300 ships lit up on the screen. He didn't smile. He didn't cheer. He simply gave the order, begin deployment. Let's show them what a real nightmare looks like. The ships moved fast, so fast that even the Zorvani didn't notice at first. The enemy ships were still preparing their first strike. Their weapons were charging, their target, the city of Tokyo. But just before the energy cannons fired, a black shape passed in front of the Zorvani-led ship. It was too fast to see, a blur of darkness. Then came the first strike. A single blast from a black fleet ship cut straight through the alien vessel. No warning, no sound, just a beam of pure energy. The Zorvani cruiser exploded from the inside. Fire spilled into space. One of the largest ships in their fleet was gone in one shot. The Zorvani commander screamed in rage. Where did that come from? But there was no answer, only silence. Then another ship exploded. Then another. The Black Fleet didn't fight like normal soldiers. They didn't fly in lines. They didn't wait to be seen. They came from every direction. Fast, silent, deadly, like shadows with claws. Inside one of the Zorvani ships, an alien. Officer looked at the screen in terror. They don't fight like prey, they fight like predators. On Earth, people started to notice. News stations broke the story. Strange black ships were attacking the aliens. The people watching went silent. They didn't know what the Black Fleet was. But they cheered when they saw alien ships burning in the sky. In the desert hospital, the alien survivor Gerald saw the explosions. He turned to the human doctor and asked, "What is that?" The doctor answered, "That is the part we never told the galaxy." Gerald stared, shocked. "You hid all this?" "We had to," the doctor said. "They thought we were weak. We wanted them to think that." In orbit, Commander Selena's ship flew through the wreckage of a burning alien cruiser. Her eyes were calm, her voice steady. "This is only the beginning," she whispered. The Black Fleet was just getting started. The sky above Earth was no longer quiet. Fire danced in the stars. The Zorvani fleet had come to destroy the planet, but instead, they were. The ones being hunted, the Black Fleet had arrived. They did not come in large waves like normal armies. They moved like wolves in the dark, fast, silent, and deadly. Their ships were black as night, hard to see and impossible to track. Each one moved with perfect control, slipping past enemy shields, striking hard and vanishing again. The first kill had shocked the galaxy. Massive Zorvani warship destroyed in one shot. The Zorvani had never seen anything like it. They had fought hundreds of species, broken empires, and burned planets. But never had they faced anything like this. On board the Zorvani command ship, Supreme Commander Voker roared in anger. How? How is this possible? These humans were supposed to be weak, an officer replied, shaking. Their ships don't match any known class, their weapons, unknown, their tactics. It's unpredictable. Vokar's sharp claws grip the metal wall. Then we make them bleed. Begin the full assault. The Zorvani fleet turned their weapons toward Earth. Giant energy cannons began to charge. Their target, Earth's major cities. One by one, they locked in New York, Beijing, London, and more. But before the first weapon could fire, a voice came through their comms. A simple, cold voice. "We warned you." Then the sky exploded. Hundreds of small black ships burst out from the dark side of the moon. They came in waves, moving faster than any known alien fighter. They dodged beams, slipped between explosions, and struck with surgical precision. Phantom 3 tore through an enemy cruiser's engine, then vanished in a burst of speed. Ghost 9 flew upside down beneath a Zorvani destroyer and dropped to gravity. Mine. Seconds later, the alien ship collapsed into itself and vanished in a silent implosion. Spectre 5 didn't use weapons. Instead, it hacked into an enemy vessel's system and turned it against its own fleet. The Zorvani didn't know who to shoot. Commander Selene, leading from Phantom 1, gave calm, deadly orders. Divide their formation. Take their shields down. No mercy. She moved like a shadow, dancing through debris and laser fire. Her ship left trails of broken metal behind her. On Earth, people watched the skies. They saw flashes of light, burning, trails, explosions like falling stars. Then the enemy ships began to fall. The people cheered. In the streets of Tokyo, people had already said goodbye to each other, thinking the end was coming. Now, they watched as a flaming Zorvani battleship crashed into the ocean instead of their homes. Survivors screamed with joy. Strangers hugged. The nightmare had changed. The hunter had become the hunted. In the command center beneath Antarctica, General Hayes watched the battle unfold on giant screens. They're confused. They've never faced an enemy like this before. His second-in-command nodded. The Black Fleet was made for this. Surprise, speed, fear. Hayes leaned forward. Let's give them more. They activated a second wave. These weren't just fighter ships. These were destroyers, larger Black Fleet vessels built to break enemy lines, ships like Oblivion, Razorwind, and Silent Storm. They didn't fly alone. Each one carried dozens of drones, swarming like angry bees, tearing apart anything they touched. The Zorvani tried to regroup, but the more they fought, the more they lost. Their heavy ships couldn't keep up. Their weapons were too slow. Their pride was their weakness. They had expected surrender. Instead, they got war. Back on the Zorvani flagship, Commander Volker stood frozen. The battle map showed disaster. Half their fleet was gone. The rest was scattered and confused. He slammed his fist into the console. How can this be? His advisor spoke quietly. They were hiding, preparing this. This is not a normal species, Volker growled. Then what are they? The advisor whispered one word. Dangerous. One of the last Zorva capital ships tried to retreat. Its engines lit up as it turned to run. But a Black Fleet destroyer was waiting. The ship named Judgment came from above, firing its rail cannon. The beam tore through the alien ship's core. There was no explosion, just a silent flash, and the Zorvani vessel broke into glowing pieces. Commander. Celine watched it happen from her cockpit. No running, she said. Not anymore. Across the galaxy, other alien races were watching. Hidden cameras, long-range sensors, secret spies. They all recorded what was happening near Earth. The message was spreading fast. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not prey. Humanity had the Black Fleet, and the Black Fleet had just begun. The war near Earth was over. The Zorvani fleet had been destroyed. Their pestilords were broken. Their weapons were shattered.
Oh.
Earth still stood, and the Black Fleet had not lost a single battle. But for humanity, this was not enough. The people of Earth remembered the message. Submit or be destroyed. The Zorvani had promised death. Now, it was their turn to feel fear. General Hayes stood before the Global Defense Council. His voice was calm, his face cold. We've defended Earth, he said. Now we take the fight to them. No one disagreed. The people of Earth had seen the bodies, the broken ships, the threats, the fire in the sky. Now they wanted justice, and the Black Fleet would deliver it. Within hours, ships began to move. The Black Fleet left Earth's orbit and turned toward the stars. They had new coordinates taken from the Zorvani data cores. These coordinates led to the heart of the Empire, the homeworld of the Zorvani. The journey through deep space took only days. The Black Fleet used tech hidden from the public. Dark drives, gravity tunnels, jump points only they could use. While the rest of the galaxy was still guessing what had happened at Earth, humanity was already on the move. They weren't just going to punish the Zorvani, they were going to burn them out of the stars. The first planet they reached was called Vorak 9, a Zorvani slave colony. For hundreds of years, the Empire had used its people to mine rare metals. The workers there had never known freedom. But when the Black Fleet arrived, the sky turned black with hope. No warning, no demands. The Black Fleet struck. Enemy defenses crumbled in seconds. Guard towers fell. Orbiting stations exploded. The Black Fleet moved like thunder fast, merciless, and unstoppable. And then they stopped firing. Commander Celine gave the order, land, open the cells. On the ground, the Zorvani slavers ran, terrified. They expected death. Instead, they saw humans breaking open prison doors, giving water, giving food. The message was clear. We are not here to enslave. We are here to end you. The freed slaves wept. Across the galaxy, news began to spread. Zorvani had lost Earth. Now they were losing their colonies, systems that had been silent for centuries. Suddenly lit up with rebellion. Alien species who had lived in fear for generations began to fight back. The name of Earth spread fast, not as a victim, but as a warning. Don't threaten humanity. The Black Fleet pressed forward. They destroyed shipyards, fuel depots, command centers. But they didn't just break things, they made sure people saw. It broadcasts went out across enemy space. Videos of Zorvani warships falling from the sky, of human fighters walking through alien cities untouched. Unafraid, the Zorvane Empire began to crack. Then came the final mission, the Zorvane homeworld. Zarkoris, the center of their power, the seat of their emperor. The planet was covered in fire and ice. Dark towers rose from black oceans. Billions lived their soldiers, nobles, slaves. It had never been touched by war until now. The Black Fleet arrived in silence. No threats. Number. Warnings. Just a single message sent across the planet. We remember what you promised us. Now you will remember who we are. The assault began. The first orbital cannon destroyed the royal palace. Second blast cut through the military base like paper. Defensive ships launched, but they were already too late. Ghost-class ships had slipped through the clouds days earlier. They had disabled shields, infected power grids, and placed charges under key buildings. The Black Fleet didn't just attack. They collapsed the entire system from the inside. As the sky burned above Zarkoris, Supreme Commander Voker stood, alone in a shattered tower, his army gone, his empire in flames. He whispered to himself, "We were the strongest. No one ever stood against us." Then a voice came through the smoke. It was Commander Celine. Her ship hovered above the ruins. Her voice was cold and clear. "You looked at Earth and saw prey. You forgot we came from a world that survived itself, a world that burned and still rose. You gave us no choice." Voker stared up at the sky. "So, this is how it ends." Celine answered, "No. This is how it begins." Her ship turned. The rest of the fleet followed. They didn't stay. They didn't need to. The message was already written in the stars. The Black Fleet had destroyed the heart of the Zorvani Empire, but they didn't do it for revenge. They did it so that no one would ever send another warning to Earth again. Back home, the people of Earth watched the stars and saw peace. For now, but they also knew something had changed. Humanity was no longer alone, and the galaxy would never forget the day Earth unleashed its darkness. The war was over. Zarkoris. Zorvani homeworld was silent. Its skies still smoked. Its towers lay in ruins. The Zorvani Empire, once feared across hundreds of star systems, was gone. The Black Fleet had done the impossible. Earth had not only survived, it had won. Against all odds, against all logic, against the galaxy's oldest terror. But the victory had changed something deeper. Not just in the galaxy and humanity. Back on Earth, people looked up at the stars with new eyes, no longer filled with fear. Now they were filled with questions. What else was out there? Who else was watching, and what would come next? In the command center under Antarctica, General Hayes stood in silence. The screens around him showed images of P-Zorvani war factories shut down, slave colonies freed, star systems quiet for the first time in centuries. But his thoughts were not quiet. He turned to his advisors. "The galaxy is watching. They've seen what we did, what we can do. What happens now?" No one answered, because no one knew. The Black Fleet had become a legend overnight. Across alien networks, humans were now called the Shadowborn, the planet of fire, and most often, the ones who bit back. Messages arrived from other species, some curious, some afraid. Some wanted peace, others wanted to prepare. But Earth was no longer blind, would never be weak again. The Black Fleet, once a secret, was now a symbol. And a question remained. What is the purpose of such power now that the enemy is gone? Commander? Celine sat alone in her cockpit aboard Phantom 1, drifting near Jupiter. She stared at Earth through her window. Beautiful. Blue. Alive. She pressed the comms black command. This is Phantom 1, requesting next mission. The reply came after a pause. There is no mission, said the voice of General Hayes. You did it, Celine. You all did. It's over. She said nothing. He continued, we'll bring the ships home. Commission them. The galaxy won't. Test us again for a long time, but Celine's voice was calm. Firm. No, it's not over. You know that. Hayes did because the galaxy was big. It's too big. Earth had just announced itself with fire. Somewhere, someone had watched hands started. Planning, and deep down, Earth knew. Another enemy would come. Maybe stronger, maybe smarter, maybe worse, and next time there might be no warning, so. A new decision was made. The Black Fleet would not come home. They would remain in the dark, not as conquerors, not as destroyers, but as watchers, guardians, hunters. In the shadow, a year later in a distant star system at the edge of known space, a group of alien ships drifted near a planet rich in life. Unknown, untouched, they began to scan, prepare to land. Then, without a sound, every ship shut down, dead silence. The crew looked at their screens in horror, and then, from behind a nearby moon, a shape appeared, black, smooth, silent. One of the aliens whispered, "Is that a ship?" Another replied, terrified, "No, that's them. Humans never fired." They didn't have to. The message had already been written across the galaxy. Do not threaten Earth. Do not test humanity. Because the Black Fleet was still out there, and it never sleeps. On Earth, children learned about the war they grew up hearing. Stories of the Zorvani, of the battles in the sky, of the ships that never missed and the soldiers who never spoke. Statues were raised, books were written, but the full truth was never told, because even after peace, Earth knew the galaxy was not safe. Not yet. Maybe not ever, and so. Earth continued to build not armies, not empires, but watchers, and in the quiet corners of space, where no star shines and no sound travels, black ships drifted, waiting, listening, ready, because humanity never forgot, and the next time war came to the stars, the Black Fleet would answer.